Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for checking out my videos, and shout out to all my lovely new subscribers. I'm so excited to keep on pumping out content. But with no further ado, I'm very excited to do this particular video. I already got a little theme over here if you could see. But today we're going to be heavily talking about our mood as it relates to what we ingest. I think I touched on this a little bit in my emotional spending video, so go check that out. But I want to talk about our overall diet. And I'm not just talking food, right? I'm talking what we watch, what we eat, what we do, and what we say. What we watch, what we eat, what we do, and what we say. That right there comprises everything that we consume, right? So when you look at the whole person and you're trying to figure out, like, what the hell is going wrong in my life? Why don't I have the best thoughts? Why do I feel depressed sometimes? Why do I feel anxious sometimes? Why do I feel fear? Why am I irritable? Why am I angry? And I think we leave so much of that to chance, right? There's so many of us who are saying, okay, well, I just have anxiety and I have to deal with it. Or I'm just depressed and I have to deal with it. Or this runs in my family is the reason why I got gout. This is a situation that I can't quite just overcome and get over. It's just my fate. We don't talk that kind of unempowered language, not on this channel, right? Nothing has to be your fate. Very few things have to just be your fate and that we just deal with it. I think there's an overall fear, though, of taking full accountability and responsibility, because that means we have to have a real look at ourselves. And sometimes what we find is not going to make us happy, but that's okay, right? Because that is the first step to realizing how powerful we really are when it comes to changing things and changing your life. Right. So the first thing I want to talk about is overall mood. I know some of my statistics might be off. Take it with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure that depression is now more than ever. Anxiety is now more than ever. Sickness, heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol is now more than ever. Anything with the mood or diet, like our physical health, in 2024 is way worse than ever. I think we're probably the most unhealthy that we've ever been in terms of modern day society. And again, we have to take a big look at what it is that we're consuming. So number one, I want to talk about mood, right? If we're irritable and we're stressed out and we're anxious and we're depressed, we have to take a look at that, right? And I love to always look at nature or just observe it, because it's really like the creator did that. Like, that's God's work. And if we are all one, then that means there's so many answers in nature that we can solve and bring that same solution to ourselves. So for example, we look outside and we see a bed of roses and we see that they're all dead. Do we at that point blame the roses? Or do we think about the soil or the environment in which the roses are in? If we were to blame the soil, that would be erroneous of us to do such a thing, because usually the product isn't the issue. It stems from something that is external. So for example, if we see a bed of dead roses, we can safely assume, like, oh damn, maybe the soil is poisoned, maybe the rose bed is not planted in a place where the sun is at its highest point, or however roses grow, I don't know. But there's something external that is causing this product, this beautiful, perfect product that naturally its birthright is to be vivacious, to be abundant, but it's not that. So when we look at ourselves and how we can take that lesson and apply it to our own lives is, how is your environment? Like, how is your environment? How does your room look? Is it messy? Is it clean? Who are the people that you live with? What kind of attitude do they put in the house, right? Because attitudes can be felt, right? Like when we walk into a room and it's weird, somebody just argue, you can feel it. You're like, oh, let me get the hell on up out of here, because I don't know, y'all about to get the tussling or something. Like, you can just feel when something is not right, and you can also feel when the vibe is just wonderful. It feels fantastic. So I want you to take notice and what the overall personality of your household energy is. Is it lighthearted? Is it fun? Is it heavy? Is it stressful? Is it health? Is it sickness? And that is the first thing to assessing what's really going on with you and your mood, and as to why you're always sad or why you're not feeling as good as you want to feel. Right now, I know for me personally in my own life, I grew up with my parents. I had my mom and my dad, but I always grew up in separate homes. They were never together. They broke up shortly after I was born. And I had pretty healthy environments, but there's some times when my dad wouldn't really talk about his emotions. And then as a kid, I can internalize that and think, oh, maybe my dad's angry because of me. My mom also had her own issues. So I think growing up in a house like that where you are loved and you have so many wonderful things going on, but because of your parents' inability to cope with life and circumstances, you start to internalize that and you grow anxiety, or you start to get anxious, you start to get stressed because you're feeling the stress in the household. So for me as an adult, I don't really like too many people in my house. I like to be alone in my house. Many of my friends have never even been to my house because I just personally like the monotony of it. I like that it's the same every time I go there. And I like that the only one who is responsible for the energy in the home is me, because that puts me in a position of power, which I wasn't able to be when you're a kid, right? And I know so many of us grew up in so many loving environments, well-meaning guardians, parents, grandmothers, adopted parents, or whatever the case may be. We know that we had people who loved us, or I hope many of us knew that or have come to learn that. And if you haven't, my heart goes out to you. You're always worthy of love. But we also know that these people in our life, although well-meaning, sometimes play a part in us being more destructive to ourselves in certain ways, shapes, or form. Right? So that's number one. Assess your environment, because that is everything. Everything. A plant and you may or may not survive based off your environment. That's huge. Okay, so let's not take light of that. And if there are some environments of yours that you're in that you can't quite get out of now, you're going to have to do your best with creating an external environment. I mean outside of your home that feeds your spirit and that helps you to feel good. And that can mean walks in the park. You can spend time at a friend's house. You can join your local community organizations. You can get more involved in the community. Just do more stuff outside of the house that support the woman or man that you really want to be. And I think that you'll notice a lot difference in your mood. You'll be more excited about your day. All right, so number one is environment. Now, number two, in terms of the things that we consume that are affecting our mood, our sense of fulfillment, our irritability, our sense of purpose, and all things us. Second, I would say the foods that we eat. Right, so I'm wearing Food is Medicine. Shout out to Dr. Bobby Price. I love his products. I didn't receive my first package. I'm going to go ahead and say that. But I wanted it so badly, the detox, the parasite detox, that I ordered it again. And I'm looking at it right now because I wish I had two, but I was very pissed off about it. I was like, that's crazy. But, shout out to Dr. Bobby Price. He's still doing wonderful work. So as far as food, we have to understand whether you are vegan or meat, plant-based, whatever. There's so many different ways we can classify what it is that we eat, right? Now, I'm not here to preach the gospel of cutting out all meat and stop eating this and do this instead. But I am here to get you to think about, how do you feel after you eat? That's all I want to know. Listen, I don't want to be attacked. And, I'm telling you got to stop eating meat, though I think maybe you should back it up a little bit, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I just want you to just look at, if you take nothing away from the eating portion of this video, because you're so damn triggered, I want you to at least just think about how you feel after you eat whatever it is of your desired meal. Do you get the itis? Itis being a suffix, I believe, of inflammation. Okay, anything that ends with itis is usually an inflammatory kind of situation going on within the body, which isn't good. I don't make up the rules, right? So if you get the itis after you eat, or you lay down and you ready to get in bed and you got to sleep this off. Oh, now I need me something sweet. I just want to say this. I personally believe that food is meant to energize. I think that food is meant to add value to our life. It's meant to cleanse. It's meant to support. It's not something that's supposed to bog us down and make us feel heavy. And this is coming from a woman. Listen, and I'm not gonna lie, like in some ways I still glorify the itis. That it just feels wonderful. I guess inflammation, I don't know. There's part of me that still is trying to unlearn and relearn But I like laying down on a full belly. It just feels so good because I'm about to sleep so good. But I had to move away from that thinking because that kind of thinking is deadly. And, I know, sometimes it can be silly, but this is serious stuff. We can't act like we're not the main ones with the high cholesterol and the diabetes and the cancers and the fibroids and the infertility and all type of things going on within our bodies. And we cannot act like, oh, well, again, like I said, the unempowered language, the unempowered disposition with what's going on with ourselves. We cannot just chalk that up to it is what it is. No, we have to stop doing that. I think that's part of that slave shit, like where we just think like certain things just gotta be like that. And we have to start asking ourselves like, wait, I just had a rack of ribs and chitlins. Maybe I'll lay off the chitlins and maybe just do the rack. Right? Or maybe instead of eating a big standard American breakfast, I can have fruit and see how you feel. One thing about me, I'll talk about it more in different videos because I want to organize the channel a little bit. But I've done quite a few different fasts: water fast, coconut water fast, fruit fast, tea fast. And the one that I enjoyed the most was the fruit fast, right? And I just felt so energetic. I woke up and I was able to just rise up. I wasn't groggy. I couldn't believe. And there's certain things that I noticed going on within my body when I was just on the fruits. I think the longest I did it so far with just fruits is 12 days, which was awesome. And yeah, I'll share more about that. Let me know down below if you want to hear more about my health journey. It's very up and down, but there's still some insight you can probably glean from there. But yeah, I just want you guys to take notice of how you feel when you eat, because you have to listen to your body. Our body talks to us. It communicates to us through symptoms, through feelings, and through what we excrete, right? What we excrete, what comes out of our passageways, what comes out, or how we also feel when we eat something, right? And sometimes even how we smell when we eat something. Those are all ways that our body communicates to us. So if you're not liking what your body is telling you, then there's some things about your diet that you just need to clean up. And I'm going to leave it there. Now, I also want to talk about how when you eat living foods, like energetically high foods, like fruits and vegetables, you're going to feel more energetic rather than when you eat flesh that's something that's dead and has no like electrical current in us. Like fruit is electric, right? It gets charged up by the sun, and then we eat it, we take that in, and it's mostly water. So it helps really, really cleanse us, detoxify us. It helps nourish us, and also gives us energy, right? Hence why you might feel more energetic and more inflammatory when you're eating meats or very heavy food. So I just want you to take a little bit more inventory of how you're feeling after you eat your food, and go ahead and course correct after that, right? So we talked about what we eat, and also we talked about our environment, right? In terms of how it can affect our mood if we deal with depression, anxiety, sadness, feeling just stuck, feeling like we're not prospering. These are things that can help us or help put us in position to prosper more, because now we're having more energy because we're working on our environment. Now we're feeling better about ourselves. Now, since I don't have to take that nap because I got the itis and I didn't ate all that food, I can actually get things done, and I won't require as much sleep because my body all night isn't working on breaking down that steak, but instead it's cleaning up certain ailments within me, so that way when I wake up I have more energy, right? And this is not just hearsay. If you look into food and what it looks like when you fast at night, you'll start to understand like why I'm saying the things that I'm saying, especially if this is like new language to you. So just do your own research too, right? Do your own research. So those are the first two things. And the third thing that I want to hone in on is, what are the things that we do, right? Like, what are the things that we do that makes us feel stressed? And what are things that we do that makes us feel free? Me right now in my life, I'm only concerned, like money and all this is down here. The first thing that I'm concerned about is play, is fun and ease and flow. Because I think I talked about it a little while before, but I'm so prone to like stressing about things and perfectionism and constant over worrying and things like that. I'm pretty sure, I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have like some sort of anxiety thing, which I'm not claiming anymore, but I just want to share that in the video because I want you guys to understand like that all these things can be changed if you are carefully looking after your environment out externally and internally, right? So if we have to look at the things that we do, and I looked at myself, I'm like, damn, the first thing I do when I wake up, I got to do this. Okay, well, if I don't do this first, then I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be fatigued if I don't do that. Then I got to go to the grocery store. I missed the gym 2 days in a row, so should I do that? All right, but I left the dishes full. I got to take care of that. I really need to clean up. I need to call my mom. I need to call my dad. I need to do this. I need to buy this plane ticket. And once that starts going and going and going and going, I set the tone for my day to be a constant, stressful kind of day. And I started to notice the effects of chronic stress on myself is when I realized like my hair was falling out, like literally my hair falling out. And as a woman, especially as a Black woman, our hair is our currency. There's so much value that we derive from having hair, right? And there's so many deeper issues to that. Maybe I'll make a video on that a different day. But that's something that will really come at your self-esteem and make you feel some type of way when your hair is falling out, or when you're stressed, you're losing weight, or you're gaining weight, or you're breaking out a lot, or you're stressed, or you're sleeping a lot. Those are all ways that stress will tear you up. And to be in prolonged states of having cortisol just run rampant throughout your body wreaks havoc on your system. You're prone to sickness more. You're prone to more ailments, right? Stress is a perfect environment for sickness to flourish. And when I started to learn and understand more about how destructive stress is, I was like, oh, hell, I can't, no, I can't be stressed. So I completely denounced it. I actually bought some ashwagandha supplements. Go look into that. It's a Ayurvedic kind of medicine, not medicine, but ancient herb that's been used for centuries for stress, for helping with sleep. I don't think I've noticed anything just yet. It's been really recent. I have that, some lemon balm. I'm about to order something else. I need me a melatonin kind of concoction so I can really be knocked, because sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and because my brain is racing, now I'm up for the next 2-3 hours. But I've been noticing my sleep quality improve once I prioritize fun, play, and things that don't stress me out. So I'm an entrepreneur, and I literally took a self-directed pay cut because of how much I was working and what I was doing, and putting too much effort into that, less into my own happiness and really focusing on my passions. That pay cut was necessary for me, and that's where I'm at right now. But I feel less stressed. I feel more able-bodied to wake up and do what I need to do. So whatever it is that's causing stress in your life, I don't care. As long as your bills are paid, as long as certain things are, working out in your life, whatever you got to do to cut back on the stress, do that. And that's honestly number one here. I even take that probably more than diet. Because what the hell is a good diet if the environment that you're creating is a diet or an environment of just havoc, but then you're gonna have good foods? That's gonna kind of cancel it out, right? We need to have a chemical balance with our stress hormones and eating well. That's when the magic happens. But we can't just have one or the other. It's not gonna be as full-bodied as it could have been. So whatever you need to do to manage your stress better, work on your stress, do that. So like I said, I'm prioritizing play. I'm prioritizing the things that make me smile. Those are my walks. Literally, and I'm talking about small stuff. I wake up, instead of stressed, I'm like, oh no, it's happening. So if I can't wake up fast enough before my negative or my crazy thoughts keep going, where I'm like, I gotta do this, my monkey mind, the first thing I do is I put on affirmations, like gratitude affirmations. Because if I'm not responsible enough at the time to think properly, and to think well when I first wake up, which is a very, very sensitive time because it really sets the precedence for your day. If I'm not responsible enough or able to make sure that the first things that I'm hearing and doing are constructive, then somebody else has got to do it for me. So I go on YouTube and I type in, I really like Abraham Hicks. I type in Abraham Hicks morning rampage. For 10 minutes, she's talking about this is a good morning, this is a good day. The world responds to me beautifully. Or sometimes I can just look up gratitude affirmations for confidence, for self-love, for money, all kinds of things. And I just repeat that until that becomes my vibration and I'm able to walk out of the house in better spirits than, the constant go, go, go. I hope that's making sense, because that right there changes the course of my day almost every time if I started off like that. because momentum is a thing. So you got to catch it early, right? So those are one of the things that I do to make my day more easy, more flowing, more light, more fun. I don't want to be so high strung and so stressed and so hard that nothing is going to be, I won't be able to receive anything. When you're like this, you can't really receive anything. You have to be free and open to receive and flow. If I take a water hose and I go like this, no water's gonna flow, but if I ease up, it's gonna flow easy. And for me, I think that's how the body works, or that's how I've gotten to know my body. That's how it works for me. So that's one of the biggest hacks. If you struggle too in the morning like I do with a whole bunch of crazy thoughts and constant thinking about what you gotta do, this and that, try to do that. It'll be really, really helpful. I like to take dancing classes. I love to go to the park, take walks. Hikes are my thing. Getting into nature is really important. Getting that vitamin D. Even doing that and then having your regular stressful day, you'll be able to navigate your day so much easier because there's so many things that you took care of first, which is you. So that's another thing in terms of what we do, which will help us be in a better mental space, right? We talked about what we eat, how that can help us, our environment around us, what we need to change, what we need to tweak, how that will help us grow, and also the things that we do to keep us in a light, free-flowing state of peace and gratitude and suppleness, right? Instead of letting life harden us and make us bitter and make us angry, and then again, that's all we manifest back. I don't want none of that. You couldn't pay me enough to live a life of stress and all that. I don't want that. I just want peace. Like, that's the only thing that I want. And you have to get to a point where you're so sick of stress running you ragged and telling you how you're going to move. Like, you have to be the one to say, like, nah, this is my ship and it's going to run how I say it runs. And all of that kind of talking in terms of what you're eating, what your environment's like, and what you choose to do is what's going to be that very powerful place that you come from, and you command a wonderful life. You command peace into your life. You command free, fun, playfulness kind of energy into your life, because that's essentially what we all want, is to be at ease, to feel abundant, to feel loved, to feel fun. That's all we want. Otherwise, we wouldn't be at this big age trying to find our passion. Then why are we trying to find our passion at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, right? Because we know that we can be feeling better than we feel now. But we don't have to wait until then. We can control the things that we can control right now, because on this channel, I'm not going to teach and talk on an unempowered language, because if we do that, we're going to stay unempowered. Our power will never be with us. We're calling it back to us by our diet, what we listen to, and the things that we choose to concern ourselves with, and the people we choose to concern ourselves with. Because that right there will change the course of our life. It sounds little. It sounds very, very simple, but not easy. But these are the things that set us on a course for destruction or on a course to abundance. So I hope that this video has given you something. And if it has, please comment. I love engaging with you guys in the comments. And what I'm going to do, because I'm always like, oh, my channel's itty bitty, help me grow it. My channel is huge. All right. It's just people. I think Oprah had hit me the other day. Yeah, Oprah done hit me the other day asking me to come on hers. So, I just want you guys to continue to engage, because I'm writing a book at this time so I can continue living in my purpose. But let me know in the comments if this resonated. If it did and you like this kind of content, let me know, and just subscribe to the channel, like my stuff. It's going to help me grow, help me live in my purpose more by way of wonderful people like you who watch and ingest my content, because hopefully it's something that nourishes your soul like it does mine. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.